Hello guys, this is Jason. I'm gonna introduce my homework client server. Uh, let's look at the code first. Um, so I'm using React 19 and Vite for the front end framework, and I also use the um, like Express and Node.js for the backend, and also for the CSS I use Tailwind. So let's look at the backend actually first. So I followed the socket.io document to start the project. So first, mm, so it's like create a server, um, like create an Express server, and then to connect the front end and back end, we need the a thing called course, which is the course, and that's how Express connect front end back end. And we need two actually. We need one for Express and the one for Socket.io. So basically, why we need two? We have two here. So basically, for the Express one, you can understand like as a gate. It's like a bridge to connect front end and back end, and that's the main branch. We can't do anything without this one. And then after we build a bridge, then we can like maybe use some more modern like technologies, and which is the socket.io. And by using the socket.io course, we can do something like emit and yeah, like emit the events from the server's client side to server side, and emit back from server side to client side. Yep. And also I get the and also these two steps is basically the way to like make front end and back end synchronized, like they show the same thing. So in the developing status, it is like a kind of necessary step. Otherwise, you have to like always you see this step. This step is just rendering the front end stuff through the back end. So if we don't do this, we need to npm run build every time to like see the changes on backend, which is so time consuming. So by using this two steps, we can simply npm run dev, and we can simply see everything from the front end, changes from the front end port instead of the backend port at 3000. And also we use Vite, which is very fast for the all the changes. So this step is very necessary. So let's look at the other code. Mm, yeah, that's the rest are basically the socket.io events. Like it's create a new event. Um, I will introduce this later because it's about the functions that I am implemented. So basically, yeah, that's the backend. And let's look at the front end. We do some like simple like import to get the socket IO, and we have few states which is help uh, implement the functions. Um, so let me explain the code one by one. So um, we have the input message username, which are all the things that we want to show on the front end, and also um, have been like need to deal with the events on backend. So the inputs is basically the. Let me just actually show you. Yeah, and it's like input is like the right here input, and the message is the message that we sent, like right here. When we sent it, it becomes messages, and that's username is like right here, and the user count is right here, and the message count is right here. Okay, so we use effect to start many events on socket to like to send to the server side. So the chat message is actually um, like right. I'll explain it later. The user count, we start this events, and then at the end when we unmount the components, we need to turn it off, because that's if we don't turn it off, it's probably won't end by itself sometimes, which is waste of resource. And handle submit is like when we press the enter in the form, and we send the message data like username and message to the backend server. Like right here, we emit to the backend, and we set the input box empty. And yeah, it's on submit right here, and the input, we got the value, and we set the input to the value, which makes it which shows the inputs right here. If we don't do that, we probably can't type it. Like we can show the values right here. Yeah, and the online user count, message count all shows right here. And when we send everything back, it will like the the backend will actually receive this stuffs. The socket IO will receive everything from the front end, and yeah, it's this is actually the event's name. So right here we have different names, and this names like reflecting, it's actually synchronized to the backend server, like a chat server, that we got the message data which we sent yeah, like right here we we emit the chat message event, and we get it right here. And once and here are some logics in the functions. When we receive the message, and we do the message count plus plus, which we actually define here, initial are zeros. So once a user, a client connect to the server, it the you see the online users will plus one, which will show synchronously on the front end, and once it's disconnect, it will minus one. And the chat is the same logic. Yep. And by the end, we need to send the message count and the message count and message data back to the front end, so the user can see the chat history. And so the logic is like the server, the client send the message to the server side, and server side send back to another server, another client. That's how clients communicates. That's the logic behind the chat room, or individual chat room or public, because clients cannot communicate directly. It all like belongs like under the help of server, and that's basically all the logics. And yeah, we'll check the implementations. So you can see we have two opens right now. It has two online users, and notice that we have different ports numbers. This one is the front end, this one is the back end, And if we copy this one here, you can see we have 3 now. And if we close one, it's 2 now. It's very quick. And we can type our username here. So, and we can type message, hi, how are you? And we can see the time right here and the username. And if we can also see right here, it's amazing. I'm fine. Thank you. And you? Yes. It's really amazing, and you can see the total message right here. And the different colors is basically some CSS parts, like right here we want the odd number and even number different. Yeah, and I think that's basically it, but I still want to like explain some logics behind about WebSocket and Socket.io. So so Socket.io is actually very modern because it just supports the long polling and also WebSocket. It supports this too. So long polling is actually when client asks for an HTTP request, the server side will like not respond immediately. It will keep opening the connection, but it will respond after it finds the data that the client side wants, and it will respond to the client side. But at this time, the client side has to start a new connection. So which means the long polling is actually like the fake persistent connection. It's not the real persistent connection, but WebSocket is the real like persistent connection. Well, it will like open like the socket for client side and the server side. Yeah. And the traditional one is which is the worst, I would say. So it's like the client side has to ask for the request, and if the server side do not have the data that the client side wants, it will respond to a null respond. It will respond to an empty answer actually. So it will like keep like sending the so the client side will keep asking for the data, and the server side will keep sending back the empty response, which is a waste of resources. And Socket.io when Socket.io initialize its service, it will start with long polling, and it will check if the browser supports WebSocket. If it supports, it will automatically upgrade to WebSocket automatically, which is really amazing. That's it. That's my project. Oh, and some creative stuff that I added, just this to check the numbers of messaging users. Yep, that's it. Thank you.